But
yeah, I kind of agree. It smells fishy. Yeah.
We're live, by the way.
oh,
Okay.
There go all my trade secrets.
They're gone. You have no more trade secrets.
That Saturday volume was a 54-day high in volume. That's the other problem. We just haven't had any buy volume.
I mean, we didn't have any volume on that consolidation, and we didn't have much of it outside of it, besides on the downside, of course.
Yeah, we didn't have any on the breakout. ETH at least had some volume on the breakout. ETH actually hit its targets, so I can't really complain there.
Well, we'll see.
I should probably
y'all have all been mentioned.
Something, right?
You've all been mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Dude, Luke, you have more impersonators than anybody I've ever seen. I don't know why.
It's unbelievable.
I know. It's crazy, man.
I block one a day because they retweet the weekly open links that I'm in, and I'm like, this isn't Luke block.
And if you're at one, I might be at probably 20 to 25 a day. Like I'm so fast with the block now of my impersonators. Like it has become like an instant. My hand knows exactly how far to scroll over, click, block.
I bet.
I mean, it's crazy. But like I don't see most of them because I'm blocked. I get random notifications of fake other people, and I assume that they're gonna switch to be me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 50% of my DMs are people telling me that I have an impersonator. It's so annoying. Like, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's all my DMs, every single DM.
That's why I had to put, I will not DM you in my fucking Twitter handle, because people kept emailing me saying like, this guy's trying to scam. I'm like, it's not me.
People still do that though. Like I put that in my Instagram, I put it in my Twitter before. I still get messages every single day. They're like, hey man, just want to let you know there's a new impersonator.
I appreciate people telling us, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Nothing I can do, man. If I spent all day on it, I wouldn't do anything.
It's the burden of your fame.
Yes. We need check marks, like community police check marks to police people.
All right, let's get started.
Yep.
Thanks for being here, y'all.
I don't have a second screen. I'm not looking at chat.
All you have to do,
all five people that are here.
Look at the screen share, and then you won't see my charts, but that's okay. All right, you ready?
Yes. Let's do it. Mole, hello. Kiki, hello. Joss, hello. Winner in training, hello.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Weekly Open and Ledger. We got everybody that's about to be on here. Before we do, we want to tell you about our partner, that's Blockfolio. Go to weeklyopen.com/Blockfolio to check it out today. You can trade from one asset to the other. You can escape all your coins and go straight to US dollars or whatever other fiat currencies they support in your jurisdiction. Right there at weeklyopen.com/Blockfolio. It's a great mobile first trading experience, and it still has all the same portfolio tracking that you know and love and have since 2014. Try it today. Their books are powered by FTX. You know it's a great trading experience. In the mayhem on Saturday, I think they were one of the only ones that actually stayed up that whole time. So thanks to them. Go to weeklyopen.com/Blockfolio. Try it today. Hello, gentlemen. How you doing? Let's start with Don. How's it going?
Good. I mean, crypto market isn't looking so good, but everything else is good.
Yeah. Joshua, what's up?
Things are happening, man.
Not the markets.
Things are happening.
Luke, how you doing?
Doing well, man. It's warm here finally. Weather's good. It's a good morning. The market looks like shit, but other than that, we're rolling.
All right. Don, your screen is up, so why don't you start and give the lay of the land since last time, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked on Monday about how we both expected a breakout into like a rejection. That has happened, actually. Pretty good call. I mean, you called on it more than I did, so gotta give props where props are due. So yeah, we had a breakout, kind of failed. Looks complete garbage to me. I hate whenever, like when you have a breakout like this, first of all, it didn't really break out. It just like stayed there for a few days. And then it immediately breaks down. I usually expect the range to break down, right? And the range for me, kind of like there's two green boxes. And I expect that to break off of this. So for me, it kind of looks like garbage. I want to see today hold minimum and then this reclaimed. And then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go back to 70, 80, 90, 100K. Until that happens, I mean, it just looks bad. It's at support, but it just looks terrible.
So if it recaptures the box that's green that I'm assuming you're about to convert to red, then you still believe it's chop unless we get back above the red line, right?
Yeah, no. So we haven't closed below this box, so I'm not going to turn it red.
That's one of my most satisfying things of the week is when you change the color on those boxes.
Yeah, you got to wait a few days. Or maybe it just stays there. But for me, it's like this line that really matters. If we kind of flip that, I think we're just going to go. Until that happens, I mean, it just kind of looks bearish and feels bearish. So I think altcoins are the better place to look during that. But then again, I mean, they've been getting wrecked today too, besides Dogecoin. So, yeah.
Luke, how are you feeling about the market?
I don't know, man. Like Bitcoin worries me a little bit less. I think it kind of brutal looking at ETH and EOS. I guess ETH, not so much. EOS, XRP, like the majors that I like to trade on the weekly, those things are just, it looks so ugly now. It would have been great if like last night, this morning, we start to turn green and things are actually looking up. Then it looks like consolidation for a higher move. Right now, it's like, let's start retracing some of the madness we've had over the past week. So majors look a little bit wrecked. I think this week's going to be a lot of sitting and watching and seeing if things can turn around.
This week is critical. The weekly
another one of those.
No, I'm not. I'm tired. Whatever. The weekly XRP candle last week's looks like a shooting star inverted dragonfly type deal.
We have that pulled up.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah. Yeah, man. It's not looking good out there, man. We did. So ETH hit its target, whereas a lot of the other stuff didn't. You know, BTC didn't hit its ascending triangle target. ETH hit it like perfectly. So, you know, if you're on leverage, I don't think you have an excuse to like get trampled here because it did what it told you it was going to do as far as targets are concerned.
On the upside. On
the upside for ETH. We're still above the cloud. We're still above the 200. We're still at or near the key June for everything. In ETH's case, if it breaks below the horizontal breakout, then we're in trouble. That's like 1920, basically. If we get down there, then it's going to get real squirrely.
I think what interests me in that setup is that we hit it with that wick the other day. So really, or we got close to it with that wick.
1920?
It got to 1990. It wasn't quite like a Keynesian touch if that was your target. But it wasn't bad. And now I'm looking here at the 20-day moving average that we recaptured within that same candle. We had a total leverage cleanup, all the funding reset, and I feel like this 2150 is where I want to see the daily sustain itself today. That was my target entry. I took my first trade on leverage.
Hashtag my first trade.
My first trade on leverage in quite some time. 2100 to 2150 was my target fill. I got a little impatient, so I got the first bit of it a little higher at like 2200, but I've been adding this morning. Not like I agree with everything you said, Don. It looks like trash, but it's also right at the levels where my risk reward makes sense. And on the back of that funding reset, it made me more confident. What concerns me is last I looked, it seems like funding's already kind of getting back to stupid levels. Have y'all been checking that out this morning at all?
No, I haven't checked it. I think ETH USD is actually looking better than Bitcoin does, which is surprising, right? Whenever you see like crypto markets kind of tumble, the altcoins look kind of shitty too. But like in this, like ETH USD is holding the highest still, right? That broke out and still kind of in that area. And if you compared it to Bitcoin, that clearly broke down, in my opinion. So
yeah,
I mean, it looks a little bit better.
I can't remember a time when we've been as disconnected as we are now. To see what happened with Doge, I'm not salty or anything. It's just like take a step back, look at the 1,000-foot view here, guys. Doge shouldn't be pumping like it is, right? Like there's something going on here. I don't have my tinfoil on, but it's a bit strange.
Are you saying that the Doge market makers are dumping the rest of the market? What's going on here?
No, there's no way that's organic is all I'm saying. Maybe someone's laundering by buying Doge, you know, I don't know.
Or maybe what if there's an impending announcement that Doge is going to become an active cryptocurrency, like from a
nobody cares. Nobody cares about any of that.
What does that even mean?
Nobody cares about that stuff.
What do you mean? Dude, no. Hold on. Let's time out on that. What if Doge like fulfilled its role as like a tip coin and was like the currency of choice on, you know, the Reddit and other places of the world? And what if Elon Musk said, "I've hired 10 engineers to work on Doge"? Like, if you want Doge to $1, that's the type of announcement that could make it happen. If you speculate something's happening, I'm saying that's the type of thing that this makes me think we're going to get some kind of ridiculous announcement like that. Like, am I crazy in thinking that that could be the type of thing that's on the back end of this? Is like somebody knows that there's activity happening and like the fundamentals of Doge will catch up with the memeability of Doge.
The Doge fundamentals. No, I don't think so at all.
I don't think it's impossible. But some of that's like cultural, right? Like even if they can't announce that it's all of a sudden the tipping currency, it's like it's already the meme currency. That's why people buy it. I don't know. Maybe something is happening.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Saying if you go,
I have no idea.
If you go meme plus, then I don't know. I'm just speculating.
I mean, my kind of view on it is that the only kind of exposure most of retail has to crypto is Doge. So I think like basically all the old season, all the kind of craziness that we had in 17 has pretty much been entirely focused on Dogecoin. And that's where the pump is coming from. And I mean, look at this chart. It's the Bitcoin chart, right? Against Bitcoin. I mean, this is just fucking mental. This is much, much further than it's ever been, right? I mean, Dogecoin always adds, right? It's not like Dogecoin is fine. Like there's infinite Dogecoin, right? So, I mean, there's much more Dogecoin.
Wait a minute, John. You're telling me you're bearish on the fundamentals of Dogecoin here?
Yeah. No, I mean, I fucking love Dogecoin.
How does their new supply work? Because it's still GPU mined, right? Like how you talk about what is the emission schedule of Doge? This has got to be Doge top things talking.
Josh, you've written articles about it. I've read one, I think, of yours. Do you know it still? Like it's
I'm looking it up right now. I think it's actually comparable with inflation wise. Inflation's at 4%.
Okay.
For Doge.
So it's 4% inflation annually.
No cap. No cap.
Yep.
So
as in actually no cap, not like kids saying no cap.
So it's more inflationary than the Fed's target inflation for the dollar. But it's twice as inflationary as the Fed's target for the dollar. My read
in
context.
My read on Doge is that just like the GME thing, everybody thought it was retail when it was actually, it wasn't just Wall Street bets. It was the hedge funds smelling blood in the water of other hedge funds and like, yeah, let's get them. This time I feel like it's just big money pushing it up because they can.
Yeah.
I don't think this is like squeezing shorts per se. Like it's probably retail shorts if shorts are getting squeezed.
Funding was negative though on the way up, and then some big Twitter people were shorting. I know that. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, I think it's always like these kind of pumps always a combination of both, right? So you get like these insiders, whatever, they're buying a shitload of it. And I mean, then you have like the public buy the top, right? This is how this stuff works. Now, the public's been buying the top since 100 sats, and I've like no idea where the fuck this is going to go. So it's like, where the fuck does this end? No idea. But it's like, I feel like everyone's in Doge, right? There's a bunch of people that are not interested in crypto that love Dogecoin. So it's like,
This is one of those charts that legitimately I could see just drop to zero. Like I'm not even
it'll take like 4 years
to go to zero.
Take a while
or 4 hours.
4 hours. Yeah, I'm on loose camp. Like it's just gonna It's just literally just going to go to zero.
Well, the top.
I think it's going to do something like this.
Yeah,
basically.
I think it's just you ignore it literally for the rest of your crypto career. Like it's untradeable forever. Unless it has favorable funding for shorts, and then you just perma short it. Once it's clearly done, like you just short it forever while retail keeps trying to keep the meme going.
Yeah,
Mush says 100 IQ discussion going on in the stream, which is bearish, by the way. You either want to be 60 IQ or 160 IQ or something like that. So we're on the bearish end of the IQ discussion range here.
Can't deny that.
We can't ignore Doge.
Right, that's what I was just gonna say. You can't ignore it. Like it is the market right now. It's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it still doubled or tripled. I mean, it's just Doge, right? It's not something that I can trade. It's something where it's just like, okay, nice, it doubled or tripled, but it's like, I mean, this is where I trade Dogecoin basically, and this is not gonna be where I trade Dogecoin. As stupid as it looks like, I mean, these kind of gains from 100 to 600 is pretty nice, but it's like not for me. I don't know how you guys handle this kind of stuff.
I think the people that trade Doge and that are buying Doge and that have been buying Doge, I don't think they've ever looked at this chart. Like I really don't. I think they log into Robinhood and just click buy.
Yeah,
I know. I know fair. For a fact you are correct, Luke. I had two in real life conversations. One of my friends was like, I need to buy Doge before it goes crazy, is what they said. And I was like, dude, it already went beyond crazy. But he's just a normal person, never looked at a chart. Another person, I actually was talking to them about how crazy it's gone, and I explained to the like Bitcoin relative cycleability for Doge historically, and was like, a lot of people were anticipating that, and then I guided him through the year by year, and I was like, here it went up 150, here it went 250, here it went 600%. And then I got to this one, and it's just like this green candle like slamming through the roof of my phone that I was showing them this on. And he just laughed. He was like, that's unbelievable, but he certainly had never seen it because most people don't look at charts. They just look at like the momentum that you see of it being up 20% every day or whatever. Like you said, Luke, on Robinhood or whatever.
It's madness.
It is.
I mean, does that kind of sound like or look like cycle beginning kind of thing? So does it look like cycle ending kind of things? Like that's a discussion that I've had with Fred, and I'm like, we weren't sure because it's so out of the ordinary and it's so like, it's just Doge, right? It's not anything else. But like, this is not typically cycle kind of beginning things. It's more of the cycle is coming to an end.
I still think it offers an opportunity for massive profits if these profits roll from Doge to other things. But then would you say that is the end of, like, would you say these profits roll out of Doge into other altcoins? Would you say that's the kind of like the cycle ending phase of it? Or would you say it's still like just in the middle of it or like at the start?
I think if you separate like the cycle of Bitcoin, the cycle of alts, like that hot ball of money, that's going to happen whether or not Doge pumps or not. Like Bitcoin being at 60K, running from 4K to 60K in like a little over a year, there's going to be a hot ball of money flowing into a ton of alts. And that can happen mid-cycle, it can happen late cycle, it can happen at the end of the Bitcoin cycle, right? Alts will just do well because there's so much fucking money flowing around. So you see shit like Doge. I don't think I think Doge pumping, I don't think you can say that's the end of the cycle. Maybe this is a top thing and someone quotes this like 3 months from now, but I think this kind of thing has been happening for weeks, months, right? It's just like Doge is it this week.
Yeah. I have experienced one end of cycle, January 2018, and that felt different than what the market feels like today to me. Like as goofy as it is, like the DeFi and then the NFT cyclical run-ups felt like March to May 2017 altcoin pricing, where Bitcoin still had room left, and then altcoins got out over their skis maybe, but there was still moves, there was still opportunity. Whereas January 2018, it was all exit pumps that were Bitcoin relative underwhelming, but like really high multiples on USC pairs on everything. This does not feel like January 2018 felt to me. It feels more like some of the local euphoria on altcoins like when Coin went to 400 sats or whatever it went to, you know, like, and all these different altcoins with no fundamentals pumped like crazy, and people were like busting 100x here and there on Bitcoin relative pairs. And we really haven't gotten to that. I mean, how many 100x's have you seen versus Bitcoin? Like most Bitcoin relative altcoin charts look like trash still. Like they look like they're basing or have hardly broken out. And any mooning that's occurred has mostly been on dollar pairs. So if it all ends here, I actually think it would be a relatively mild run for altcoins.
That's fair. Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, I'd hate for it to end here. I've just been really struggling with kind of putting this in any kind of category, which, I mean, isn't bad per se, right? This is a new paradigm, Dogecoin going to 700, 800 sats. But it's just been like, I've been thinking about it more and more, where it's like, the argument is really like making the argument that we are at the start of the cycle, I think is really hard to make now that like even Doge, and I mean, you've had XRP go crazy the last week. I mean, that's more of a mid thing to end thing for me.
Oh, I don't think we're at the beginning of the cycle. I'm not trying to advocate for that. I mean, Josh and I podcasted a month ago saying we thought we were second half of the bull market, you know? I don't know. What do you think, Josh? You've been through more market cycles than everybody else.
Yeah, like I said about being disconnected, things look super weird. I don't think it's the top, certainly. If you're a pi cycle top guy, it's the top, but I don't think it's the top. None of the data is saying, like BTC wise, that we're there yet.
I mean, the exchange flows charts that talk about how much Ethereum and how much Bitcoin is leaving exchanges still.
I mean, if we want to talk about actual coins instead of Doge, I was ready to go through the Doge menagerie, but yeah, Bitcoin exchange reserve is lower. It's the lowest it's been now since I don't even know when.
Josh, can you take over the screen share for showing that?
Yeah.
But like the chart is like totally inverse between price and exchange flows, and I can't imagine a world where that's like overly bearish. It doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make any sense for that to be bearish. If anything, it looks like our targets are too low. You know, like for people to send that amount of coin off exchange into cold storage, it seems like we're setting targets too low, and like whatever we get here is some kind of fake out before it's like Ethereum 10K, Bitcoin 200K type stuff. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's how I feel.
I don't think it does. And Ledger, what's so interesting about looking at that exchange reserve is if you go back and mark out the macro tops, go like a week or a month in advance of when they happened, and look at what the exchange reserve was doing before that, it flips back to negative. Like it starts looking bearish before the market tops in the past. That's not to say it's going to happen again, but the fact that exchange reserves are still decreasing, like they haven't even flipped, they haven't even started trending back higher. It's like, I mean, that's a very positive sign. Now things could be different this cycle, but I don't think it is theoretically, and also just it's what's happening.
Yeah. So reserves, this one here is BTC reserves lower. I mean, that's what you want to see. ETH I had somewhere lower, just continues the grind, lower, nonstop.
That's a supply. Doesn't that create a supply side crisis? I mean, and like you said, Luke, exchange flows were skyrocketing even while price was skyrocketing when the 2017 top happened.
Exactly. Well before, it kind of happens weeks or almost like a month. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different with each top, but like a month in advance, it starts really changing. Like it's a clear trend. Now that sometimes going to give you some fake outs, but that has happened for every single macro top in the past.
Yeah, but I agree. That's why it's like, if you're holding spot or buying spot, I think you're fine. Now, if you're trading leverage, there's different commentary and conversation to be had there. But yeah, I think being patient is good. Yeah, these charts look, I can't be bearish with exchange reserves just continuing to dwindle, right?
I am curious, Josh, have you seen the discourse? People were saying that this doesn't account for, what were they saying? Grayscale and some of these other funds. Like it was just, it kind of doesn't account for the whole picture now, and things might be structurally a little bit different. have you seen, like, I don't know if Glassnode has it factored in right, or if CryptoQuant has it factored in right, but are they accounting for that? Like, is there a way to show what's in funds versus what's on exchanges versus what's just out there?
Yeah, the thing about all these data websites, Whale Alerts, CryptoQuant, and Glassnodes, is they all kind of look at things differently, or
Yeah.
So the data won't line up for sure. These guys, they do have a GBTC, separate thing. I don't know if that's included
nice.
here, but miner flows also have not, risen here at all. So yeah, you got to be careful. You got to trust the data if you're using the data. And I don't know exactly what's in this as far as what they include and what they don't include. But
yeah, still positive.
It looks fine to me.
Yeah.
Real quick for Doge hash rate. It's always good to look at the actual fundamentals behind this stuff. What I expect when price goes up is like ETH hash rate just continues to moon, just nonstop. And if you look at Doge versus ETH, that this is a bullish miner fees picture more than anything. But the Doge, the script hash rate hasn't really done anything. When you look at the Google Trends, it's like, Jesus, that's an insane jump. That's over 1 week. It's measuring that. And if we zoom way out where that's been historically, it's like, we're in truly new paradigm type stuff here.
Yeah. The 2014 one, that was like when it was peak, Doge Bitcoin type stuff. And then 2017 was just the bull market cyclical stuff. But this is Doge is entering the realm of awareness that only Bitcoin and Ethereum probably have. I don't know. It's nuts, man.
Let me compare it real quick. Hold on. Not close, but anyway. So yeah, there's reasons behind what we're seeing. If we look at the transactions per day on Doge, they're actually at a multi-year high as well, dating back since 2015. The Doge blockchain has never been busier. So there's some like reasons behind why this is increasing for sure. It's just, it's Doge, right? But we can look at, I like looking at transaction counts for the big guys.
The way that you show that hash rate for Ethereum, you show the Ethereum leaving exchanges. I refuse to believe that this is an Ethereum top. I just refuse it. It makes no sense to be an Ethereum top.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Bitcoin wise and dollar wise.
Yeah. ETH BTC. We've talked forever, but like
here you go. You want to be bullish? ETH transactions all-time high.
Right.
BTC transactions continue to fall off, although I think in general BTC transactions aren't really going to increase ever again because of batching and that sort of thing. One last thing I'll look at is active addresses real quick, because I'm sure those are up for ETH. I don't know for BTC as much, but yeah, BTC's down-ish considerably. ETH is probably at all-time highs or close to it.
What is this one? Transactions?
Active addresses.
Active addresses.
So very close to all-time highs for active addresses for ETH.
Yeah. Practically though, do y'all have more addresses for ETH or BTC?
Like personally?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, ETH, because you do stuff. You don't move.
That's exactly my point. Like,
you don't move BTC around, so the metrics are going to look different fundamentally, right? My pet rock herder, right? I don't need to move BTC around. That isn't why I hold BTC,
Right. But
I hold ETH. There was this great tweet about somebody like, all I want to do is put my ETH to work. It's like, yeah, all I want to do is sell my ETH to do other stuff. I don't want to hold ETH at all for like no reason, right? Like I just want to do stuff with it.
For now, 1559 may change your mind when it becomes ultrasound money, as David at Bankless likes to say.
I will ride that pony all the way to wherever it's going.
Luke, do you have any fundamental thoughts here? Dude, I know Don's talking about pullbacks. He was talking about price, not fundamentals, but what are we, how do you align all this?
Fundamental catalyst wise, we still have Vic Sharma's announcement to look out for potentially in the next 30 days. If that Walmart news comes true for Bitcoin, that's obviously a lot more rumor than it is fundamentals, but that could still be. I know, I did too. That could still be really big. I think kind of people forget, like Bitcoin's done this thing where it stalled out around 40K, it stalled out around 30K. Like each time we hit one of these big numbers, and 60K has basically been it, we've said, maybe we actually do go back to 25. Maybe we actually do go back to 30. Like maybe this is the top. Like we're going to retest all-time highs, and that just hasn't ever happened, right? We have like these 20% dips, then things keep on running. And what turns around each time has been Elon Musk buying, or Michael Saylor buying, or there's always been another announcement to come. So, if this comes through in the next 30 days, I think things look all right. Right now, the pullback obviously doesn't look good because we're in the midst of it. But yeah, imagine if today's daily turns green and we have a close back up around 62, 63. I imagine people will be a lot less worried. So it's one of those things where, like while the dip's happening, great to be cautious. If we start having positive news that doesn't have a positive impact on the market, that'd be a first in a long time. So I'd actually be worried, but I don't know. Still some stuff in the pipeline, maybe pump the brakes and taking a couple of days off.
Actually, when I look back on where this level got to on the index on TradingView, Bitcoin went exactly to the prior daily low. So it wicked to the prior daily low close. Don, does that mean anything to you from a price action perspective?
Usually when I have these, when they kind of test the same low, but don't quite take it, I usually expect it to just get run. So I wouldn't be surprised if it just runs both and then bounces. It's kind of the same that we talked about on ETH. If you remember ETH PTC, where we're like, okay, this just has tested this low so many times, time to break it down. And then, ETH did, and then it actually moved right after. So I could see that happen. For me, if I'm looking at this, let me quickly screen share. Mm-hmm. When I'm looking at this weekly chart, right, we quickly get in trouble if we start closing that below that green box. Like if I have to turn this color around, we're in deep shit, because really there's not that much support left, right? Besides like the obvious one, which is like down here. So for me, it's kind of like, it's just, I hate to say it, right? But this looks as bearish, like the most bearish it's been the entire rally up. This started looking terrible, I think. And then Elon bought and we all just got back on track. But this, we need someone else to step into, because this looks really, really bad.
What about that December tease down? Right there.
Which one?
Right
this
there.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's still like this. Yeah, it broke down, it broke out, and then made a higher low, right? Here, it broke out, and what did it do? It made a lower low-ish. Now, you could say, okay, it needs to take this out to confirm that. And I agree. But then again, we're at daily support right now. So I hate, if you're not short already, it's a bad place to do it. But it's the same with this candle here, right? Where we retested the high, basically closed at the high, and then went down the next day. And I could see the same thing happen here again. This has me worried. I legitimately think that there's time for a decent sized pullback, and this could be it. But then again, if we start closing today above this green box again and then start rallying up, go ahead, right? But for me, it's still this is where the bull's back on. Fuck anything below, because really this could close back above. And even if it does, right, and Luke said, okay, what if it does close above? And I agree, it would start looking better, but it's still the same low tested a bunch of times, which I fucking hate. I don't like it. That would get run, in my opinion. So we're in for some volatility either way, I think.
With either of those scenarios, it's kind of like the past month or two for Bitcoin. It's ever since the Elon candle, I just haven't been trading Bitcoin. I don't know what you guys have been doing or if you're more active with it. But all these little dips, and then we barely break out higher. Even if we start closing back above, Don, your green box right there, I don't think I would take that trade. I'm not going to change anything I'm doing with Bitcoin. I'm just going to keep holding Bitcoin because I don't think it's the top. And sure, if we take out 50K and start closing below, then rotate some to cash. But I don't know, like that. I guess that's maybe why I think it doesn't look so bad, is because I probably wouldn't trade that anyways. Like I'm just comfortable holding and think we're still moving up based on fundamentals.
I mean,
we all gonna get trapped by fundamental biases.
I mean, the thing is,
I'd be fine. Yeah, I don't.
The thing is, like, even if it's,
I love the coin.
even if it's the top, right? Like, let's say this breaks down, right? It looks completely garbage. We're gonna get a really nice bounce from like that 30, 40K area. And then you can still sell if you want to. Yeah. So I've been saying over and over again that the complacency bounce that we're eventually gonna get is the place to sell, not necessarily the high. This had me like, I hated this breakout from the get-go. I tweeted about it too, with like asking people whether they're gonna take profits at some point or not. I don't know, like what people are gonna do in general, like if this starts breaking down, if it starts washing people out. But yeah, I mean, the best place, like the safest place anyway, is gonna be the complacency bounce. Because like this could still be a bounce area and then we go higher, right? But I don't think like at some point, like let's say we break down here, I'd be worried that top is in, and I'd be looking for an exit, at least for a hedge, and then see if it can reclaim the highs, that kind of thing. Because that starts, I talked with Avi about this from Block Tower, and he was like, I think this time, like this kind of run is probably going to end up with around the top, and that this has me worried. Because it looks like what he told me, like basically when we're trading lower. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just saying, be a little bit careful, I think.
Yeah.
Just no way the pi cycle top can be right here.
Can you explain the pi cycle top? I've seen people tweeting about it. What the hell is that?
If this is right, I am gonna leave crypto. I'll share my.
Hedging
I'll share
now.
my
I'm
screen.
hedging now.
Market sell.
All right, so it's basically two MAs. One is the 350 MA, which is basically the yearly MA times 2. So not the 700, but the 350 times 2, and then with the 111 cross. And the guy from Looking at Bitcoin explains it down here, but basically it's just the back tested cross from the previous all-time highs.
3 crosses.
Right. So the thing about this is it sniped all 3 all-time highs previously. Now it didn't do so well in the local high we got in 2019, but it was the top to like a week margin, as in WEEK, 1 week time frame each time, and we did cross it on the 12th, was it? Yeah. So that's all it is. It's just a back-tested cross.
I'm going to show one more thing that I have talked about, and it's when are we going to bounce off the 20-week moving average? That's where I got the number from when I was talking to Don last week about the 45K, as I think it'll be up to 45K by the time Bitcoin moves down that far. It would be an equal bottom on the weekly. That's the type of bounce that I think we could get. We're well overdue for touching that moving average. We haven't been there since October 2020. Wait, is that right? Yeah, seems like it was longer ago.
Yep, that's right.
So in terms of number of weeks since you've touched that moving average, that's 28 weeks since you've touched the 20-week moving average. So it's obviously quite overextended compared to 2017. You know, we kind of rode it, right? Like every major dip ended there until we had a dip that didn't even get to that, and that highlighted the overextension and euphoria top. This time we just haven't even tested it. Like we just keep getting bought up faster and faster and faster. And when a moving average like that was so clean throughout a prior euphoric bull market, and this time we're not even touching it, it just kind of weirds me out. Like something's goofy here. I speculated yesterday that maybe it was because of all this leverage. Like if this little wick that we got on the prior weekly, that knocked out $10 billion of open interest, like of liquidations, even more of open interest. $10 billion of liquidations from that little dip. Maybe that's preventing us from getting down all the way to those moving averages because we're just kind of failing to grind out of them. You know what I mean?
The other thing to consider is a lot of that OI is not real. So
yeah, but the liquidations are real. Like the
liquidations are as real as the OI is, so
yeah,
take it with a grain of salt.
But when you wash out all those liquidations, like in the prior bull market, these ended in large cash selling type of moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where like for a minute, Coinbase is trading at $100 discount or something, like retail capitulation down into the bottoms. And this, it seems like our dips are shorter because the derivatives are washing out and, making it more tolerable to go back up because it's less expensive to long and that kind of stuff. But yeah, like if this weekly close right now, I'm out on like towards what Don said. It's just, I don't like it. It makes me nervous. Somebody asked what a complacency bounce is. I guess I can pull up the same chart I just had. I kind of want to hide my indicators though, because I loaded them up with crap. Complacency bounce is when you have a big move down and then you just kind of piddle back up. So this would have been the complacency bounce on a weekly basis in February 2018, back up to 12K after we topped. And people are like, oh, okay, just back to normal. And then that's when you enter your bear market. That's roughly what a complacency bounce is. If you wanted to do it off of the local time frame chart, this is your complacency bounce here.
Do you want to share your screen?
I am sharing my screen to the stream.
Oh, okay.
You just can't see it.
All right.
So that's roughly what a complacency bounce is. We could have just had one.
Dude, that looks so brutal.
It looks so bad.
Yeah. What kind of sucks coming out of this is funding did reset. We have all those liquidations. Like the fact that we kind of don't bounce out of that. I mean, we did, and now it's already turning over. That's what I was really looking forward to this morning, and it's just not happening.
Yep. That's making me sad because I don't want to close my trade. It's first trade I've had in a while. But I by the end of this daily, I'll find out whether it was already invalidated or not.
It's not a loss till you sell.
Not a loss till you sell. Sure.
Or until you're forced to sell, right?
That's true.
Well, it's pretty low leverage, but like I never like losing money.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, Josh, what are you looking at there? What are all those yellow bars?
Just looking at USDT above or below $1 again. Lately, if USDT USD, the pair, if that dips below $1, it's been more bearish than bullish. So we are surging well above $1. People are selling their Tether happily above $1 here. Those special hedge funds who play that pair are making bank. Best you believe.
What is the interpretation of that though? When Tether's above $1, it means people want Tethers, therefore they're bearish, right?
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to actually, like, that logic makes sense when you say it out loud, but like how it plays out, it doesn't. That's not how it works. Because the red line up here is above or below $1, and if we're below $1 on Tether, we're usually bearish, which is the opposite of if we're above $1, people are buying Tether. There's demand for Tether, we're bearish. Like it doesn't line up.
I don't understand the metric then, because to me it makes logical sense.
That kind of makes perfect sense. Yeah, if you're bullish on Tether, you're buying Tether, you're selling your coin.
Right.
You want to own Tether when the market's bearish, right? I would.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish I would have tethered up more this weekend.
That's the logic. The logic is if we're bearish, Tether should be above $1, but that is not what the data shows. The data shows if we're bearish, we're below $1 on Tether.
Well, I don't understand how that's functioning.
Just look at it. The yellow highlights.
But it therefore makes it useless to me. Like,
if it's consistent, it doesn't matter.
Give us 3 crosses in the past 10 years. I want to see them.
You have a hypothesis, you collect your data, and then you adjust, right? Like the results are the data shows when we're below $1 on Tether, price goes down. Like number go down when price is below $1. That's just how it is. We can look at March too. Where was March? Look at this whole run up. This is where things get super weird because we're below $1 here, and then we're above $1, and then in March everything gets wacky, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't look at it too often, but it's just interesting to look at in times like this when we're like, this doesn't look so good. What's going on?
We're looking for answers.
Yeah, exactly. Tether still looks fine. If Tether was like 96 cents or something, then we'd be in for some trouble.
One other thing here, alts are getting obliterated while, Bitcoin's down 3% or whatever. I look at dominance and I just assume there's some kind of divergence on this as well, but this looks like it was some kind of bottom on dominance to me, just eyeballing it. What do y'all think about that?
I could see it. I mean, I would hate it because I actually have a bunch of altcoins. But I mean, it's a strong bounce, right? And the thing is, like, I honestly think if altcoins went ballistic here, right? Let's say Bitcoin bottoms out in at 53 or whatever and bounces, and the altcoins bounce really hard. Like, the harder the altcoins go, the more bearish I get on Bitcoin, just based off of the fact that I think money is going to rotate out of Bitcoin into the altcoins, and then you're going to have less bid on Bitcoin and more bid on the altcoins. I kind of feel like that's how the cycle likes to play out. Whenever you have the altcoins just go completely crazy, Bitcoin usually takes a hit. And I mean, that's what we've been seeing, right? I mean, XRP, Litecoin, the old coins went crazy, the bigger ones, Dogecoin on top, and then Bitcoin took a hit, right? So I don't want to, it's weird. I don't want to see the altcoins do well, but then again, I have altcoin positions, so I do want to see them do well. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. Also,
but yeah.
One other thing in terms of macro misalignment, I guess, is this is now 3 weeks in a row where the dollar is failing its breakout. We talked about this most weeks, but this reminds me a lot of late cycle 2017, where, it made some bounce and then it basically tanked after that and then led towards the end of the bull market. Potentially another sign that we are late stage. Like if we go make some new lows, go down to 86, 87, 89, maybe that's how Bitcoin blows the top off. But the current down move with the dollar, with looking at the Dixie going down 0.5% this morning, those don't seem to align very well. But generally the Dixie looks very bad to me. What do y'all think?
I mean, we have the SPX down, gold down, Dixie down, right?
Yeah.
It's weird.
What does it mean? What does it mean? One of them's wrong, right?
All the correlations are wrong. What's going on? I'm on the wrong timeline.
One of them's wrong. Like one of these things is wrong. There should be a demand for dollars if all these assets are down.
Well, there's clearly a demand for stablecoins. We hit a multi-year high, if not all-time high, in daily. Yeah, it was an all-time high. So April, hold on. Let me get the date. We can send out the tweet. April 16th, an all-time high in stablecoin issuance across the board in the ecosystem. It was nearly 1.6 billion on that day, April 16th.
Demand for everything down. Demand for stablecoins and Dogecoin up. that's the outlook this week, baby.
Luke, How's that our narrative? I don't get it.
I don't know. I think it just means vacation for like anyone trading this week. Like I don't know what you're gonna do unless things turn around quickly. Like I don't know. If it's just Doge moving this week, I'm just not gonna trade. I don't know what that means. I cannot interpret Doge. I wish I could. I could try to come up with some fancy indicator that tells me something, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what it means.
It's pretty gross. One other element of all of this, Coinbase IPO. It happened after our show last week, didn't it, Don?
Yeah.
It pumped for about 5 minutes and then just brutally sold down to 308. And then ever since, it's basically just the gigantic Kathy from ARK is accumulating sideways. Like, they've bought 1 million shares going into today. They probably bought more today. So ARK Invest is buying this thing, but it appears no one else is.
We didn't even talk about all the FUD that happened on Saturday, right? There's some bogus tweet. There's mining FUD out of China about some coal mine that had to get inspected, which I think is real, but hash rate didn't do anything. We had some FUD about Coinbase executives selling, which of course they're selling. You know?
Someone in the chat just said that. They said
it was completely wrong though. They said,
right.
For instance, they said Brian Armstrong sold 71% of his stock, and if you actually look at his total shares that he owns, he sold 2% of his stock. And because it's a direct listing, like the people that own the stock are the ones that have to sell the stock. So no one sold more than like 25%. I think their chief accounting officer or whatever maybe sold 25% of their stock. But for the most part, their executives sold like less than 10%. But that's how the shares get to the public market. So yeah, it was Frankie Scoops over at The Block was just fighting FUD left and right this weekend, including the Coinbase insiders selling stuff. But the other one was Doge futures being listed on CME. That was another weekend headline.
Well, there's two Twitter accounts, and it's really upsetting because I really liked those Twitter accounts for
the FX Hedgers is one of them who I followed for a long time, but it looks like he sold his account or something or got hacked.
It's bizarre.
It's probably a sell.
Yeah, but that account is tweeting is tweeting headlines as if they've hit the Bloomberg terminal. You know, is what they're being like the all caps headlines, and they're just completely false. I doubt they ever hit Bloomberg terminals. Like it makes me think that someone is using low liquidity weekends to tweet goofy stuff through those accounts and get price action off of it.
Yeah,
wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that it is actually causing price action to move downwards is already significant in my view. Like we've had so much bad news and so much like garbage come out, and Bitcoin only went up, and now we have like the opposite, right? We have bullshit news that cause price to break down. No, I'm not saying the cycle tops in, right? I'm not sure. Like you can never tell if it's in or not, but I'm just like. I'm seeing like a change in behavior, and I want to see that wiped out really quick before I jump back on the bull train, basically.
Yeah. Don, so can you share your screen once again? Because I know you gave levels for what will really convince you, but what's going to make you have, general pause? Like what's going to make you start to like transition your opinions, even if it's not confirmation yet?
Okay, so I mean, if we close today above this green box, I mean, I'm gonna be like, okay, probably gonna at least go to like 61, and then we see like, I mean, we either do this. I mean, even at that point, right? It kind of looks shitty still because then you'd expect, we have this meme thing, right? But that would make me feel much, much better about it all. Like if we closed above green today, if we close below green, I think, I just have to think that we're in for at least a little bit more.
Sweep the lows.
But this is where it turns around. And if we do well today, that would already be a good sign, in my opinion. But I mean, it's not looking like it right now, but that can change, right? We still have a lot of day to go. But yeah, those two levels are the ones I watch. And then if we start closing below 56, I think we just go to 50. And then maybe from there we bounce, because that's the old range, right? This is where we've been ranging for a while. I know it's been chopped a little, but I think this is still the range. And then we see where it goes from there.
Luke, what thoughts do you have?
I mean, just nothing different from Don. I just haven't viewed Bitcoin as an interesting trade in a while, like I've been as a hold. So it'll dictate though, like what alts do. Like if Bitcoin all of a sudden looks super bearish, I'm probably not going to get aggressive with ETH towards 3K again until Bitcoin turns around. So I don't know, like today, going to be staring at my screen and coping and wishing I was in more stables. And if things turn, I'll probably start firing on Ripple and ETH and all the other trash that's out there. I mean, majors were so fun to trade for the past 2 weeks. It'd shock me if things turned around and ended this quick. But yeah, maybe they did. I don't know. I have to sit here and wait.
One other element of potentially having been a bottom was if you're a believer in this wedge situation, it basically Bitcoin went to the 0.618 fall out from that wedge pretty much immediately. This just strikes me as the type of thing that could be really nasty and then just get back to normal, just this gross chop, relentless, just do whatever it has to do to get people unlevered and out is what I feel like Bitcoin really wants to do. And if that's going sideways and looking hideous for a little while, then maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Josh, any closing thoughts on Bitcoin, what you expect?
Not really. I agree with everybody else. I don't think it's bearish. I think it's more neutral, sit and wait. Definitely out of leverage for me personally here. This isn't anything I want to trade. If anything, like trend wise on the 4 hour, I want to see everything reset on the cloud. I don't know.
Yeah, my justification for the Ethereum leverage trade was basically on maintaining this level. So if we don't save that level, then I have to close the trade early. And I might look for 1900 or something to try again. And the worst case scenario for me is I don't want to get, if we get 1900 like all on today's daily, you know what I mean? Then I'm essentially playing a new risk reward, which makes it challenging. So
yeah, we definitely don't want to break yesterday's low on anything. That's always a bearish move, right? Like breaking lows is not a good look. And if you stops were run yesterday on leverage, they're probably going to get run today for sure. So yeah, I don't know.
I am so indecisive after this episode. It leaves me unsatisfied.
It's just there's not a clean read, or not.
Do y'all? Does anybody have any appetite for altcoins?
I mean, I'm still in some.
Yeah, tentatively. Like I would flip pretty quick. Like I'd be pretty excited to get back into ETH and XRP if Bitcoin turns around. And maybe even if Bitcoin doesn't turn around, if it can just stall and like those ratios start going up again. I'm not like super bearish. I just think waiting a day or two, seeing how it plays out.
I like that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say I'm bearish either. I would just if we hit the 200 daily moving average or the 20 week, I'd say okay, okay, right? Like it's not like right. It's like I'm not expecting it, but seeing it wouldn't surprise me,
Yeah. What do you got drawn there, Don?
My Litecoin trade basically. I'm gonna be invalidated below here. Might move it above here. But yeah, I'm still in Litecoin. I hate that I'm losing value against the dollar, but I mean that's what it is, right? It's a trade versus Bitcoin, so can't be too concerned about that. But yeah, it still looks good to me. Still broke out of resistance. I still could see I don't really see a good resistance left on this chart. So unless this is the fake out and we break down lower again, I just think Litecoin can easily double. So I'm just not going to close it. And then I still have Wi-Fi. I mean, we talked about this last week too. And last week was literally the low while we were talking about it. Got in here, ran up, fell back down, ran back up. Still in that. I mean, I don't like today, but not invalidated technically, so I'm just going to stick with it. And then I'm also in Leo.
Wi-Fi's relative strength yesterday was really impressive.
Yeah.
They also bought back coins. I guess some Wi-Fi improvement proposal gives them a coin buyback optionality. So I don't know if that was part of it. I feel like they're trying to turn around the fundamentals on Wi-Fi though, and it seems to be starting to get picked up by the market.
How did we not talk about Solana or Maker or any of the things that are actually up? Like, have you guys looked at Solana?
Yeah, Solana just goes nuts all the time.
I don't want to look at it because I don't hold it.
Yeah,
it trends so hard that it's hard to get an entry. It's actually down a few percent today, but it went from a nuke yesterday to like a 30% up day. It was insane.
It's almost like Sam transferred all of his bags from everything. Like, with our powers combined, we will buy the dip. And then,
I don't know, man. Wow. That candle was insane. It was truly insane. There was another one that I was looking at because I was like, holy cow, this thing turbo nuked.
Link was pretty nuts as well.
HNT went from opening the day at 15.30, went to $9, ended the day green. Like, how does that even happen? It had a daily recovery of 80%. It went up 80% off the lows after a 42% dump intraday.
I mean, weekends, no bid, people panicking. That's the kind
is that a thin move, or is it like a fake one? Like, how do the lower time frames look like?
No, it just like instantly, like it almost looks like it was one holder that nuked it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, look at Ren. Ren went to 0 on Binance, right?
Yeah. It's like somebody had lots of coins, nuked it with total disregard to slippage and everything.
It's so weird. Link too. I mean,
look at this.
Link's down 38%, back up 30%, same day. I mean, those kind of things, that is what you want to see for alts now to resume higher.
I agree.
You're not doing it yet.
I agree, but that's what's troubling to me because I'm sitting here staring at this watch list and everything's down 10% today. You know,
maybe it's just people, I don't know, looking at Saturday and saying, "Holy shit, what happened?" I don't know.
Ren actually hit the 200-day moving average. Yeah, I don't know.
Ren went to 0.
Yeah, okay, but like realistically,
I don't know what pair that was, but some pair went to 0. Everybody was sharing that chart.
It was Binance, right? Yeah, Ren USDT. Ren USDT went to 0.
Imagine being the guy that sold at 0.
I saw someone on Reddit post about like getting liquidated at that low, basically because of Ren. So yeah, the Ren position got liquidated. I think that's what prints these lows every time, basically. Like someone sells and then you get liquidated.
Look, here, I'm going to make a bold call.
All right, here we go.
Bold call. Sitting down. Bold call is that this episode of Weekly Open is the weekly bottom. Like this is just all fear-based retest trash from the blowout of liquidity and liquidations yesterday. People got scared this morning. We go up from here. Like, there's a total funding reset. All the fundamentals are good. The dollar's down. I'm bullish. I choose to not be bearish. How about that? Screw you.
I like it.
I also choose to be bullish. It's the weekly open, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I'm the only one being a little bit cautious.
Yeah. Our sentiment alone tells me the fear that must exist in the broader market because we are all at least middle of the IQ curve type people. You know, like a couple of y'all are big brained. I'm very middle of the IQ curve. All the middle of the IQ curve people are probably scared right now. And I'm gonna throw myself on the left side of the curve and say it's a bull market. I buy the dip, and I'm gonna throw myself, and that hopefully that mimics the right side of the curve. So that's my stance. That's my close of the show. What do y'all? Anybody have anything to add?
Oh, that sounds perfect.
I got nothing. I can't follow that at all. You know.
I'll join you in the trenches later.
Thank you. Join me in the trenches. Let's get those IQs down as low as possible. Look, we got
short IQ, long the market, baby.
Leaving it there. WeeklyOpen.com/blockfolio. Make your first trade today. Thanks for being with us on this episode of Uncertainty. We'll talk to you next time.